Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Buddies on Buddies.
We just
The show, the show with two real life buddies talking about buddy action comedy movies. I'm Kenny Lane.
I'm Lucas Hill. And we're buddies on buddies.
We're buddies on buddies. Yeah.
Don't you fucking forget it. Whoa.
Oh, shit.
Hmm.
All right.
Happy St. Patty's Day, everybody.
Hey, happy St. Patty's Day. Should we do our shot of whiskey to start things off?
Yeah, we decided we would. We're both. I'm Irish. Are you Irish? What are you? Dutch?
I did my 23andMe a couple years back. Turns out I'm very Irish.
Yeah,
a lot more Irish than I thought. Yeah, I knew I was a little bit. I didn't know I was that Irish. So
I have a pretty red beard, so I figured it was pretty up there. But yeah, I'm like all Irish.
Yeah.
Like with the touch of English, but it's like all Irish.
So it's just. So we're way more Irish than the dudes that said they were Irish back in like college, but we didn't know it, I guess.
Hey, then fuck those guys. You know what? Now that I know
fuck
I'm fully Irish, I'm really offended by that. Yeah.
You're really offended by that? You're going to go back and tell them off?
Yeah.
Good luck.
Just as an Irishman. No, us Irish are lazy.
What you saying, laddie? I'm going to smash you in the face with my shillelagh.
Or what did you think here happened? That might be a little Scottish. All right. Well, I'm doing to set up St. Patty's Day an Irish car bomb.
Oh, boy.
That is Guinness.
Uh-huh.
That is whiskey. And that is, I'm going to pour my Bailey's into my whiskey there.
Okay.
What are you going to do?
I'm going to be doing some Jim Beam and a Guinness. And that's going to be my thing. Because I just can't afford Bailey's and all these other fancy liquors that a prince like you can afford. So I'm just going to.
It was just the Bailey's. It was one thing.
I don't have the luxury of affording Bailey's. I just have to afford my Jim Beam. So whatever.
You really are Irish.
Yeah. Way more Irish than this shit. Okay.
All right. So wait for me. Let me pour my Bailey's.
Okay.
Into my whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
All right. By the way, if you haven't had one of these, I know you have, Kenny, but it's been a while.
Yeah.
Mary just got these, so fucking good. I haven't had one since probably you lived in LA. Like it's been that long.
Oh wow.
But
yeah.
Man, are they good. Okay, I'm gonna pour mine in and chug. You ready?
Ready.
All right. Happy St. Patty's Day, Kenny Lane.
Happy St. Patty's Day to my fellow Irishmen. Do you remember when we first got to Los Angeles and we decided to go to an Irish pub on St. Patty's Day at like noon, and it was a 2.5 hour fucking wait just to go in and have a Guinness? Whereas that same pub any other day of the year, you just walk in and have a Guinness, like no problem. But that's the thing about Los Angeles. I think people just like long lines. That's like part of the culture or something.
Well, I mean, look at Chicago. They dye their whole river green. I don't actually know the history of Los
Angeles.
But are there a bunch of Irish people in Chicago? Is it like there are a bunch of pubs? Maybe there are actually. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, but like the 10 whatever Irish pubs on the west side, or that call themselves Irish pubs, it was just like this insane line that 2.5 hours to walk in and get a Guinness, then you're just like shoulder to shoulder with people. I guess you kind of want to do anything festive in LA. I noticed that like go to Santa Monica Pier for Valentine's Day, it's just gonna be fucking crowded as fuck. I mean, the city loves a theme, so if there's any excuse or a theme, like they jumped all over the Rams, like because they were in the Super Bowl. It was like huge.
Right.
Like none of these people watch football. What the fuck is going on? They love a theme, like you said, like the Pier on Valentine's Day, like anything that they can dress up, dance around.
Well, I just think there's so many goddamn people there. It's like if you have the idea of, hey, let's go get a Guinness at an Irish pub, I'm gonna take my date to the Pier for Valentine's Day. About 8 million people also had that idea. So I think that's what happens.
You know what no one in LA celebrates? Christmas.
What's that?
Christmas. Everybody's gone.
The war on Christmas is fucking. It's losing in LA.
Well, we won't get into who runs Hollywood. We love Hollywood. We love whoever runs.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Let's keep that on the DL. We don't want to get this. Yeah. Shut up.
We're kidding, of course. We are not anti-Semitic.
Yes. No. We have one Jewish friend. Shout out to Carrie.
And we let him know it.
Yes. Just like the total anti-Semites, or no, we are pro-Semites.
Yeah,
We're pro-Semites.
Let's re-record. Start from the beginning.
Let's change the subject. This is getting weird.
No, it's funny because like my brief, time in Hollywood, and like everybody worries about Hollywood, like whitewashing everything, being anti-Semitic, like Disney being, anti.
I never really heard of Hollywood being anti-Semitic. I don't know, like.
Well, sorry.
Like,
yeah. They would be though. See, here's the thing: Hollywood just wants to make money. That's all they care about. They are very inclusive, but if the flyover states don't want to see Jackie Chan kiss a white woman, it's not going to happen. It's not that Hollywood gives a shit. If that's what the flyover states were into, he'd be making out with every chick he's in the pictures with.
Well, I don't know if you just blame the flyover states. It's kind of a very LA thing to say. Like, it's not these dumbass fucking like states like fucking Kansas and Oklahoma. They don't know anything about being progressive and enlightened. I wouldn't say that. I would say that, things just change over time. And like, like take that Will Smith movie, or like Hitch or something. It was supposed to be like a white person. This was like 2004 or 5 or something. And they had to change it to like a Hispanic to split the difference. Cause they didn't want like Will Smith kissing a white woman on screen. But then like 10 years later, there was that movie he did with, what's her name? The Harley Quinn chick.
You got it.
It was called like Focus or something. And so it's like it just takes like 10 years. There wasn't an uproar in like Kansas or anything. I think they might be like at certain different time nervous about rolling out with things at different times. But progress happens.
You're absolutely right. I was just, when I say flyover states, I'm mainly just talking about a certain type of person, not necessarily states. Being from a flyover state, 2 of them,
right?
I know
that right.
It's just a elitist Hollywood term I use. I've been in Hollywood too long, maybe. I don't know.
You've gone full Hollywood, and you're just all about cocaine and shitting on the flyover states.
Jeez Louise, Julia Louis-Dreyfus. I guess that's me now, huh?
Yeah. Do you remember also just reminiscing about old times, you and me in LA, when you got hooked up with an 8-ball of cocaine? It's like after a year or 2 after we lived there, and you were like, "Do you know anybody that want this?" And I was like, "I don't think so." And you're like, "Damn, I can't think of anybody." Well, why don't we just come over and play video games all night and do it? I was like, okay. And then we were like, man, we really have not made it into Hollywood because we don't know anyone that would want an 8-ball of cocaine.
Fun story share.
That's how not connected we are. So, or were.
That story now kills all my political ambitions. But yeah, and you know what?
Yeah, there we go. Yeah,
I remember that night fondly. And I think that was the last time I ever touched the shit. Because we didn't even want it. It was let's make
I don't think I've done it since then. I don't know.
Yeah, I seriously doubt I have. I know a lot of the Hollywood people in my circle do it, and I'm just not interested. And they know it because I'm kind of like the big bad wolf.
I don't know. I think it's kind of an embarrassing drug. It gets people to talk a lot about real personal shit all night, and some douchebag you just met talking about how mean his brother was to him his whole life. Like it's that the next day I would just be so ashamed of myself if I told a stranger all this shit.
Yeah. Well, luckily we're both Irish. So when we did it, we didn't talk anything. I didn't.
No, I don't. We make jokes.
Any information? Yeah.
No. Yeah.
What a fun night that was. We should get an 8-ball of Coke and hang out again.
Yeah, for old time's sake, just you and me, just a couple dudes playing video games, doing an 8-ball of cocaine.
I remember I lived in Venice at the time when we got an 18-pack of Bud Light and went through it like nothing.
Yeah. Like an hour or something.
Yeah.
Fucking maniacs. Yeah. Good healthy times. Good.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah. Moving on to movies.
Moving on.
Anyway.
Yeah. Movies. Sorry. Right. Yeah.
We should also put that as a segment of Buddy Story, everyone. Instead of like a history of who we are.
A little
tell
buddy
a story
anecdote
from our years of buddy.
We got a few on each. We got some dirt on each other.
Let's save them though, because that'll be fun. I'm gonna write that in. Why I write this in, do you want to go into the movie we're gonna do?
The movie that we're gonna cover this week on Buddies on Buddies. Yes. Okay. So it's this week for St. Patrick's Day. I wanted to do like an Irish movie. We did The Guard from 2011, written and directed by John Michael McDonough, and starring Brendan Gleeson. Is that how you say it?
I don't know.
Gleeson. Yeah, something.
I think it's
and then
Gleeson,
Don
I could be wrong.
Gleeson. Okay, and then Don Cheadle. So that's the movie we're covering this week.
Great. Oh fuck! I fucked this up. I need to. You know what? It's gonna take some more. Before we get into that, we're switching. Did you watch anything this week other than The Guard that you want to talk about?
I did. Well, I watched Jungle Cruise, that fucking movie it's based on the ride at Disneyland.
Yeah. So you came out like that?
last.
Oh no, this is the old one. Yeah.
Oh, well, it came out like
earlier this year.
It came out like 9 months ago or something. I think it was like released last summer. I think it underperformed like pretty much almost all movies did. I'm not a big fan of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, but it's definitely in that mold of based on the ride at Disneyland. It's got these crazy overdone action sequences for some reason, like with submarines and all shit going on in the Amazon River battles and shit. But it's okay. It's fine. Very forgettable. Like pretty much every Rock movie is. But the Rock, there's some funny touches. Oddly, that like the reoccurring music is an acoustic version of Metallica's "Nothing Else Matters." It's like played over the Disney logo at the beginning, and it's one of those movies that if you're looking for something like at Thanksgiving or Easter coming up and just want to throw something on watch with your family, it's like one of those movies. So it's not really worth shitting on, but. I wanted to ask you, so I was watching because of being, action movie fans and stuff, and like the big guys like Stallone, Schwarzenegger. The Rock is kind of considered one of the new big Schwarzenegger dude. He's been starring in movies for like over 20 years now, or right around 20 years. Can you name like a signature Rock movie? Like Schwarzenegger had after like 10 or 15 years had like Conan, Terminator, Total Recall, like all these kind of cult classics, Predator. But what does The Rock have? Like Scorpion King, The Rundown? I don't know. Like I know he's in the Fast and the Furious movies, but that's much more of a Vin Diesel franchise, I think. Like
even like Jesus Christ, stop talking. He does ensemble, a lot of ensembles, and a lot of the movies, if you look at what's it called, the San Andreas, that's a Rock movie, and it made pretty good money. And then,
but does anyone still remember that movie?
He's kind of like a baseball player that hits for doubles and triples and doesn't hit a lot of home runs. Whereas Stallone and Schwarzenegger and Van Damme, Van Damme was probably more of a triple hitter, and even then briefly him and what's it called? The fucking fat guy who thinks he's Japanese.
What?
Like, your boy, Steven Seagal.
I'm lost. Steven Seagal. Okay,
they're like triple hitters, whereas Schwarzenegger and Stallone were like home run hitters.
If I asked you to name like some signature Van Damme movies, you'd probably say like a Bloodsport, Kickboxer. Seagal, you'd be like Out for Justice, Under Siege. The Rock, it's like Skyscraper. Like it's just
The Rock doesn't
have like very big signature movies.
He does a lot of ensemble things though, like the Red Notice.
He's done a lot of just very forgettable stuff, even starring in it, like Walking Tall, Faster, Scorpion King, Skyscraper, San Andreas. He doesn't have any sort of cult favorites, or for a while he was the highest paid movie star in the world, so he's doing something right, of course. But
he's very likable. He's bankable. Yeah. Like his movies never bomb. They always make money, even if they're mediocre.
Well, yeah, that's good. But like when all said and done, is he going to have any movies worth checking out in 10 years versus like Stallone or Stallone has like Rocky, Rambo. Schwarzenegger's got like Terminator, like all these movies. Like Rocky.
It was a different era. Like who could you even pinpoint? Like who's a big, great action director right now that you would,
Yeah, maybe like to pair him with or something.
Yeah,
well,
exactly.
it's hard to say. Yeah, like I thought maybe just any good director, like maybe like a Edgar Wright or something, and him could do like a cool action movie. But he's apparently really loyal to the directors that he works with on like Jumanji and these movies. So he just does the same. He works with the same people over and over. Anyway, digress about The Rock. What did you watch this week, Luke?
I want to bring up two. I'll be really quick on the first one. The new Scream that came out.
I saw it too. Yeah,
and I love the first two Screams, like because that was right in our wheelhouse growing up. We were in high school and shit, so I loved them. Not the others so much. So I was looking forward to this because the reviews are pretty good. I was very disappointed. I thought it was a very generic, not a very good Scream movie. No big surprises, reveals. The deaths were repetitive. No. All the kills were just repetitive and not that creative or anything. So I was just unfortunately very disappointed. And the killers are so predictable to the point where when I saw the trailer, I was like, oh, I hope that's not the killer because that would be lame. And then that's the killer, and I was like, that's fucking
That's
lame.
the killer.
Yeah.
So did you like that scene with
spoilers for Scream?
Well, whatever. Like the scene, Courtney Cox and yeah, who gives a fuck? Fuck.
We just told a Coke story. What do we care about? Spoilers
yeah. We don't care about spoilers for anymore. Yeah. Well, that scene with what was it called? David Arquette and Courtney Cox when they meet up again. And they have this conversation. I thought that scene was so like, oh my God, this is so embarrassing. Like, get off this scene now. Like, I don't. Do you remember that? You know what I'm talking about?
I remember very little about the movie. So if they take place in that house, they act like this is the most iconic house in the world. It's like, it's not. No one gives a shit. Just make a cool movie with some cool deaths and then make it meta, but not stupid surface level meta.
Yeah, it's all callbacks to like the movie. It's one of those like I saw this movie in 1996.
Right.
It was called Scream. It's for a new generation, I guess, but it just seems like the same fucking movie I saw 30 years ago. Whatever.
Like kill the three main stars or the legacy characters in the first scene, and then like I'll be on board. That would like.
Nev Campbell was so useless.
Yeah, she was barely in the movie. And there wasn't a focus on the teenage characters. They were barely in the movie. They like started with them.
Yeah.
Then they focus on the adults and they come back at the very end, but we don't know anyway. Whatever. Wasn't a fan. And then I saw a much better movie, Red Rocket.
I've been wanting to check that out. It's by the director of the Florida Project.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I forget his fucking name now. Of course, Bruce something, doesn't matter. Really liked it because it's like Florida Project with the reality and the setting. It's all like so real and grounded, and the setting's really captured. It's all poor people, but then there's this really dark humor in it that's really funny because Florida Project is not funny. This one is like a dark comedy, and so it's great to see.
There's some dark comedy.
Sure, but this is like intentionally like it's a funny movie, and it's sprinkled throughout. And what's his name? Something Rex, whatever.
Simon Rex. Yeah.
He's really good in it, and like who'd have thought that? I remember I always thought he was fucking funny in Scary Movie 3, which is a movie I hate, but I thought he was funny in it. So he has something. Anyway, I highly suggest it. One of my favorite movies of the year, or that I've seen.
Red Rocket. Yeah, I would not have expected an acting comeback from Simon Rex in the year 2021.
Look, we were all hoping for it, but none of us were expecting it. And then
my letters got through somehow. Okay.
All right, that's what we watched. Real quick, I also finished reading. I know it's a film thing, but I finally finished reading. What's it called? Lonesome Dove. It's been almost a year of me reading it because I read for a living.
Congratulations.
Fucking one of the best books ever written. Highly suggested to anybody who reads.
Wow.
It's so
That's
fucking
Larry
good.
McMurtry, right?
McMurdy, whatever.
McMurdy?
Close enough. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Highly suggested. And also, if you don't like to read, check out the miniseries because that's one of the best miniseries ever made. It's right up there with Roots. So
Lucas is a big Lonesome Dove fan.
I am. I'm officially. I ordered the sequel. I know it's going to suck, but I ordered it. I'm going to watch it. I read it.
You got to you gotta start ordering T-shirts. Lonesome Dove. Just start rocking that shit. Just
get
the
ultimate Lonesome Dove tattoo.
Yeah,
I'll get the sign, the famous sign from the book and movie on my back. We don't sell pigs.
Right.
Right.
You should go down to Comic-Con, have a booth like everyone's Marvel. You're just Lonesome Dove, motherfuckers. Ride or die.
I'll dress like Gus and have a friend dressed like Call, and then I'll pistol whip people who don't talk to me right.
I'm not dressing like Call, so you're asking right now.
No, I meant one of my tougher friends. Anyway,
yeah. I'll be the guy that gets killed by water moccasins. Yeah.
Crossing the LA River.
Yeah.
So the movie we watch is The Guard.
The Guard, yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to give the plot summary this time?
Sure, yeah. So, small West Irish town, there's this guy who's part of the Garda Síochána or something, how they call it. And it's basically, that's what the police in Ireland, they call them the guards, And he's the main cop of this small town. They come across a murder, and it may or may not be linked to this FBI investigation of this major drug shipment from Jamaica. And the FBI sends in Don Cheadle to kind of team up with this guy and kind of solve the murders and the drug bust and all that kind of stuff.
And what did you think of it? Like, just what are your general thoughts?
My general thoughts, it's funny because we talk about how a lot of these movies, like, it's not a good movie, but it's a good buddy act, or it's an okay buddy action comedy if you like the genre. I kind of think the opposite this time. I think this is a good movie. I don't think it's a very good buddy action comedy. I think it fits all the criteria for a buddy action comedy. But if you're looking for a buddy action comedy, I could see people being like disappointed. But I will say this is a very good movie. Like this is the only movie we watched that I was like thinking about for like a day or two, like after I saw it, and it kept like popping up in my head. So
well, what did you think?
That's where I'm at.
What did you think of the opening? Because that one really shook me a little when I first watched it years ago. The very opening sequence.
With the teenagers, they're driving.
They all get in a crash. Flips, they die.
And die. He just kind of walks up, just kind of takes the drugs out of pocket. Like your mother. Yeah. It's like, nah. I think that sets the tone for the movie, and I think it's an interesting introduction to a character.
And he drops the acid.
Yeah, it's interesting, but also just the tone of it. Like, this is obviously a dark comedy. It's not a high like octane fun movie. This is like there's a kind of a grim almost like tone to the whole thing. And I didn't know what to think of it at first. I didn't know, is this guy really like corrupt? Is he a really fucked up cop, or is he just kind of like one of those wild guys that you kind of like? So that was like the first scene definitely set the tone of the movie, which is different than anything we've watched so far.
I love the cut when he takes the acid and just does a quick close up of the acid and then pulls back. But also he doesn't take any more drugs in like the rest of the movie. Like, so he just did acid that one time for the opening. And he's less indifferent about life. Yeah, but he's not I don't think he's degenerate. He's over everything. He's bored. He's so smart. He's just kind of bored with everything. He doesn't give a shit. He's smarter than everybody else. It was interesting. What do you think about the scene with him and when Don Cheadle's first there and he's spouting the racist stuff in the meeting?
Well, if I had a couple of criticism of the movie, it does almost feel like, I know this movie came out like 10 years ago, but it does sometimes feel like a 90s movie doing that kind of shtick where he's kind of ribbing the guy with throwing out racist stuff at him, or like the hitmen or the drug, bad guys like waxing philosophic, in between, stuff. So I was like, this seems like kind of dated for a movie that came out, I know it came out 10 years ago, even further than that. But that's basically like kind of criticisms I have about it. But
it was still kind of like the especially the henchmen or the bad guys, they were kind of from Quentin Tarantino, set that tone, where you have all these criminals who are like really philosophical to the point where it's fucking stupid.
It's always cliche now just to have that. Yeah.
Though I did towards the end when Mark Strong, whatever his name is. He's like, we got to get out of here. Like, no way, this is the best fun I've had in forever. This is what we do it for. Just because he wanted to be in it. I love that. Then his last words were "good shot." Like he's just playing a game. Give a shit about anything else.
Yeah, there's a lot of great one-liners in this movie. Like, especially after someone's been shot. Like when he shoots at one guy, I guess like, I was gonna do so much with my life. Like, what the fuck you mean? Like, run with the bulls. The Irish
run with the bulls and pull over.
Yeah. And when he shoots another bad guy in the stomach and the guy's wailing, is like, don't be a sorry loser. Like, that's a great thing to say to someone after you shot them in the stomach.
Yeah. He was great. He carried it. He's so good.
Definitely. Yeah.
And I love the partner he has, the clean cut partner who's played by the books, before Don Cheadle comes up, the one who gets killed earlier on. And then he forms a relationship with his wife, and
that was interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. And then like she says, like he was gay, like we didn't know that or anything. Like there was obviously a connection between him and the wife. Oh, that's just like so much deeper, richer characters than this movie needed, but I'm glad it was there. It helps elevate everything.
That's what I think that's like what stuck with me as far as his relationship with his mother and stuff too, like kind of taking care of her and stuff like that. Like every other movie would have said like, what the fuck is this subplot doing in here? But it all sort of works, building something in the end. It's very much a character piece. I would say, I was talking about how it's not a very good, it's a good movie, but like as far as the buddy action comedy thing, Don Cheadle and him don't really have that much screen time together. I mean, they're in it, but Don Cheadle doesn't really do much. It's kind of surprising for him being a producer on the movie. There's not a lot of action, and the comedy is really like dark and deadpan. So I don't know. How do you think it kind of? What do you think about it? Like seeing it again after 10 years? I hadn't seen it before.
I mean, I really liked it again, and my same hangups are kind of. I did the philosophical henchman didn't bother me as much because it's been more removed from when it was popular all the time from Tarantino's, effect. I did notice, like, I really wish Don Cheadle and him had more screen time together because when they were on the screen together, they were great. And you really believe that they respected each other and liked each other very much, I just, and some of these buddy movies have that problem. Like, get your guys together as soon as possible, and let them have fun, and keep the camera rolling, like that's what you want. They're two strong performers with an interesting dynamic bouncing off each other, that's what you want the whole movie. Sometimes they only do it for like 30 minutes because I bet they only shared like a third of the movie together, because
if that later. I think
but no, it was good, and I like Cheadle's character, how he's like from affluence and all that stuff, and is really special and all that. And he's more of a street guy who happens to be highly intelligent, but they meet there on that intelligence. That's what they cared about and what they respect. He's well read, him and his mom just talk about Russian authors and stuff like that. So I don't know, it's fun.
I did like the exchange when they said what's a Rhodes Scholar? He's like, do you know what the fuck a Rhodes Scholar is? And he's like, yeah, Chris Christopherson. Because that's I had right here. Like, I was like, because that was my answer too. I was like, of course I know what a Rhodes Scholar is. Chris Christopherson's a Rhodes Scholar. But I don't know beyond that what that means or anything.
Yeah, it's great. It's like that street smarts, but he has it in like spades. Do you like the ending? Because it's like the only action sequence in the movie is the ending. Did you like that action sequence?
I did. I like the action sequence. It was different. I when he's getting on the burning boat, he has an exchange with that actor who's really good too. I guess he's in, like, I've seen it.
Sorry,
not Mark Strong.
Yeah.
He
plays Davos I guess he's in Game of Thrones.
That's what I was gonna say. He's on Game of Thrones, but he pops up in like a million things as a big character actor. But I thought that exchange was really great. The whole like kind of seeing him walking down the steps and then like the whole boat's burning and stuff like that. I thought it was a really cool
that was cool with the fire in the windows. Yeah, it was really neat.
Yeah, that was neat. I don't know if we talk about the writer director. This guy, his brother is the guy who did like In Bruges and 3 Billboards in the Missouri movie. They definitely have the same like dark humor,
the same style.
Aesthetic.
All the movies you could switch your names.
They could be right, exactly. Yeah. So I am curious to see the other movie he made with Brendan Gleeson, whatever, Calvary, which I watched the trailer, folks. I guess that's the best thing about this I can say about this movie. Is like I want to watch more of this guy's stuff, and Brendan Gleeson, because I knew who Brendan Glass was, like Harry Potter and Gleeson. Okay, I'll say Gleeson, but he was like Harry. I read his Braveheart as like Mel Gibson's right hand guy and that kind of stuff. But I didn't really ever. Yeah, I didn't really think of him as a leading man or something. And I know he's obviously has like this huge theater background, like the Royal Shakespeare Company. But this was kind of a eye opener. Like, wow, this guy's actually pretty good as a leading man. I would never thought he could carry a movie himself or something.
And I know I saw the Cavalry, but because I was on a kick with both these brothers and all their movies, and for the life of me, I can't remember a fucking single thing about it, but I know I saw it.
that says a lot. That's a very testament. I saw it. I don't remember a goddamn thing.
I was probably doing Irish car bombs and cocaine.
Really hits you.
Who knows?
Well, to be fair, I've watched a lot of movies that I don't remember, but they're shitty movies. So it's like I don't remember Police Academy 5. I put it on last night, and I don't even remember watching it.
Well, no, I'm at the age in a year or two where I'll put on a movie and go, "Oh, what's this stupid movie?" Oh, wait, I love this movie. I don't remember anything about it. Oh yeah, this movie's great. It's well crafted, great acting, great directing, great writing. I love this movie. I couldn't remember anything about it.
Wow. Well, it's nice that you get to watch it for the first time again.
Yeah, but once you get in a few scenes, you're like, oh, okay, and then the recall memory starts taking in.
Well, it's also too with like the Netflix stuff. A lot of movies going straight to streaming or straight to Netflix or Hulu or whatever, where there's no like, okay, I've bought my tickets, I'm taking somebody, I'm going out to see this, so it's kind of a whole experience, so you remember it, or like where it just you roll over one day, yeah, what's on? I'll watch that. And then you watch it and that's over. It seems like very disposable almost because there was no like thought or effort really into the experience of it. That's my theory anyway.
That's why you have to order food. You have to, the bigger movies, you have to make it an experience. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So that's what I said. So it's
completed all my rings. Yeah. Not a big deal.
Very good. So what would you like? How would you rate The Guard? I know you've already seen it, but like, how would you rate it?
I agree with you. Like on a buddy movie scale, I'd probably give it 2.5 out of 5. On a movie scale, 3.5 out of 5, closer to 4 than a 3. You know, because you can't really suggest it to people. Like, hey, I'm really into buddy cop action movies. You got one for me? Check out The Guard.
Yeah.
I don't want your appetite.
Yeah, it weirdly, it checks all the boxes for a buddy action comedy. There's gunplay, there's clearly buddies, there's humor. But yeah, I pretty much exact agreement. Like on a buddy action comedy scale, like a 3, but on a movies, I would give it like a 4. Or like because I thought it was very, like I say, whatever sticks with me, I think is a testament to the movie.
Yeah, it's a finely crafted, acted, written film. Like there's really, the weaknesses are kind of nitpicky style choices. It's a really fine movie. Captures the Irish setting. It's original. One thing I like to say is confident. They make some really confident choices that any normal person, any executive, any writer, like, why would you do that? That's batshit crazy. Yeah, I want into my movie. We're gonna do that.
Okay. Well, making a dark comedy, you have to really stick to your guns because test audiences aren't going to say nice things, or if you even bother with test audiences. But apparently, this is like the most successful independent movie in Ireland ever after The Wind That Shakes the Barley. Like it surpassed that. It only made like 21 million worldwide, but apparently, like in Ireland, it was a huge hit, for this kind of movie.
I didn't even know they had movie theaters in Ireland.
I didn't even think they had electricity.
I read Angela's Ashes, so I'm surprised.
Yeah. That's we know a lot about our motherland of Ireland.
I know a lot about Limerick and being broke there. Trust me, those kids weren't going to IMAX to watch Spider-Man, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Do you think there's anyone like every St. Patrick's Day just reads Angela Ashes and gets drunk and cries? Do you think that's anybody's like
I think they do 2 out of 3 of those things.
Okay. they what was the third one? Cries.
They get drunk and cry. Yeah.
Yes. You can't do all 3. That's a bad plan for St. Patty's Day.
Well, you can't read a book in a day. Not Angela's Ashes. Pretty big book.
If you drink enough, you wake up at like
whatever you want.
6 a.m. to midnight, you just read the whole goddamn thing, Andy Kaufman style, and just get wasted and just black out a couple times.
We should do Angela's Ashes one day on this show, maybe next year.
Is it a buddy movie? We're gonna find out.
Before we move on, I learned Photoshop and I've been doing excellent work putting our faces on the thumbnails. Movie posters.
Thumbnails. Excellent work.
Thank you. It wasn't hard, and I don't deserve any credit. Doesn't take long. But thank you.
But you just wanted to give it.
I just wanted everybody to know.
You just wanted to give a shout out to yourself for what you accomplished, and they're all really proud of you.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
I'm pretty proud of myself too.
Yeah. I just want to let everybody know that I know I'm being really funny on this show, but thank you for your support, and thank you for telling me that every day. And I appreciate
also, I completed my 3 rings today. On my,
what the fuck is the 3 rings? I don't know what you're talking about.
When you have
Lord of the Rings,
Apple Watch, which was a hand-me-down from my stepdad because I can't actually afford one. When you do your exercise thing, you get a ring for minutes exercised, the amount of calories you burned, and the hours you stood. If you get all 3 in one day, you take the 3 rings.
All right. Well, we're all really proud of you, and lots of likes, lots of hearts, lots of go for it, Luke. You got this. You disgust me. I can't believe you brought that up. I'm trying not to throw up all over the mic with that shameless bragging, humble bragging shit.
That wasn't humble. That was pure
Brad, that wasn't humble at all. I'm gonna have like a dumbbell next time. Like, check this out, guys. I can do this now. I know it took me a while, but all the support, love it. Yeah.
I know you want to do that because you don't exercise. All right.
I exercise once in a while, when I
you go for walks.
Yeah. I go for walks occasionally, I run away from things when I'm chased.
Ooh, my third ring.
Yeah.
Really ran away good from that one.
Yeah. Okay, so what do we learn from the Guard?
I learned that Mr. Gleason can carry a fucking movie by himself. He doesn't need anybody else because he completely overshadows Don Cheadle, who's a very good actor. He's good in this, but
sure, yeah,
you almost didn't even need him. He was fine on his own,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's kind of strange why they even brought like that whole FBI guy in there. I know
just keep him doing the case and everything. Someone about they could have kept the gay guy who gets killed off earlier. You would have had the racial thing, but that's it. Yeah, it would have been fine. They were different enough. He was straight laced.
Right. Right. Yeah.
What'd you learn?
What did I learn? I learned that it doesn't take much to be the biggest Irish movie of all time. So maybe along with my Chinese pandering writing, I'm trying out now. I can start thinking about some more Irish pandering, and I can actually say that I'm Irish. So this is very important to me. I can pull that bullshit of like, I wanted to make this for like personal reasons.
So do I see a Guard 2 in the future with Jackie Chan and Gleason?
No, Guard 2 with you and I as the Don Cheadle and Gleason.
Well, I have the post. I'll have the poster ready for it. Don't worry about that.
Oh, great. Yeah.
Great. Is there anything else? Is there anything else you want to cover? There's no fan mail because we don't have enough fans and we don't get any.
That's fine. Well, what are we watching next week?
That's what we have to get into. What are we watching next week?
Well, my thing lately is I watch a lot of movies on VHS because the thrifty stores on this peninsula, Washington Peninsula I live on, they have like just shitloads of VHS, like 10 for a fucking $1. So I just I've been cluttering up our living room with all these fucking bullshit VHSs that I have to watch and then throw away because I can't give them to anybody or sell them and just take up space. So I did get the Cowboy Way from 1994, I think, starring Woody Harrelson and Kiefer Sutherland, which I thought would be a fun one for us to. We like Kiefer and Woody, and I remember seeing it when I was like 12. But yeah, I see it when I was 12, but I haven't seen it since then. I'm sure it is what it is. So, but I'm looking forward to seeing it.
I remember a guy gets sucked off by a baby horse. I remember them ordering a steak.
I think it was a cow. I think it was a cow. I think.
Or yeah, baby. Sorry, a calf is what I meant. Or no, I meant what is? Yeah, whatever. Anyway, he gets sucked off by a fucking animal, and I was like, "You can do that?" Because I was 12.
Well, and it seems to be torturous too. I guess like
no. At first he's like, and then he crosses his eyes. We'll get into it next week when we watch the movie.
Yeah, don't spoil it. Don't spoil it.
We don't want to spoil the best scene of the movie. Yeah. But I look forward to that. Are they cops?
Yeah, gonna be great.
I guess they don't do it buddy action. Yeah.
No, there's like rodeo guys. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Great. How is the weather where you are?
Rainy, cold, pretty much a lot. All the time. It's rough, for golfing and stuff like that. But we get little breaks. Like I went out last weekend. It was nice, but yeah, it doesn't really actually get like steady, nice weather here till like May or June.
Well, it's 70s and sunny in LA. That'll be it for us.
What a shock.
See you guys next week on Buddies on Buddies.